Some regions of Pennsylvania are on the verge of emerging from coronavirus stay-at-home orders. Democratic Governor Tom Wolf is expected to announce today which areas of the state can start to roll back restrictions.
Joining us now to discuss, Republican Congressman Guy Reschenthaler from Pennsylvania. Congressman, good to see you. We want to ask you about your state's reopening, but first, we want to get your reaction to these shocking new revelations in the case against Michael Flynn. Will we see anyone at the FBI be held accountable?
Well, Sean and Emma, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. When it comes to Michael Flynn, this should shock all Americans. Think about it. James Comey and those at the very top of the FBI weaponized and politicized the FBI. They went into the White House to talk to Flynn, not to investigate, but to catch him in a perjured statement, to get leverage on him, to get him either prosecuted or get him to get fired. This was a nefarious action and a true abuse of power. And if the FBI can do this to the head of national security, if they can do this to, for example, spying on President Trump during the campaign, if they can do it to those individuals, think about what the FBI can do to your average citizen. It's shocking, and it should horrify all Americans, this abuse of power. Hopefully with the Durham report, we're going to see the full details of this. But if individuals in the FBI broke the law, they should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law and send a message to future FBI directors, future members in the top echelons of the FBI, saying that if they abuse their power, if there is prosecutorial misconduct, then they will be prosecuted and they will face justice.
Yeah, Attorney Jeffrey Jensen is still overlooking this case, so there could be more that does come out. That is at least what we're hearing so far. Congressman, I want to ask you this. With your legal knowledge, your background, being an attorney and such, is there enough evidence already on the table to dismiss Flynn?
Well, the fact that this right now should be seen as an exoneration, I'd have to go through the entire facts. But the fact that the evidence is coming out that he was set up to get perjured, the fact that the FBI used his son, leveraging, prosecuting his son to get Flynn to basically compel a statement, that is shocking and that is misconduct. So I don't want to go so far to say that legally he's exonerated, but from public opinion standpoint and politically, yes, he's exonerated.
I want to ask you this too, Congressman. Going on the heels of that, there's question for even what happened to McCabe, James Comey, Mueller. These are names that we should hear more about. But one specifically is FBI Director Christopher Wray, who's been in this position, should have had this information already. What should he do? Should he step down?
We got to look to see when he had this information and if he was sitting on the information or if he truly was just not being fed the information. But the fact that the FBI is releasing information in a drip style, right, where little bits and pieces come out, that's inappropriate. And it goes to show that those in the top levels of the bureaucracy will do anything to protect themselves and to protect that bureaucracy. That has got to stop. America and the American criminal justice system and all the rights afforded to defendants should come first, not protecting a top bureaucrat and not protecting a singular agency. That is also troublesome.
Yeah, just a fascinating story there. We continue to find new evidence. Always should be discussed and examined as well. Congressman, we want to switch gears now, of course, to the reopening of your state. You represent the 14th District and southwestern part of Pennsylvania. When do you expect businesses to reopen in your region?
Well, the good news is that people in Pennsylvania can start to get back to work finally. It looks like a lot of the counties are going to open on May 4th, so we're just days away, and there's going to be a slow rollout. I will say this, though. These measures are a little, too late. We could have used common sense measures to make sure that more Pennsylvanians were working, that more businesses were able to sustain themselves during this pandemic. Instead, the governor tried to use a one-size-fits-all. He tried to use what was best for Philadelphia all over the state of Pennsylvania, which, as you know, is a very diverse state. And because of that, Pennsylvania is now #1 in unemployment claims, yet we're only #5 in population size. So that shows the draconian measures that governor took. He even tried to shut down coal mines, online car sales, all construction. So I'm glad we're finally getting some ease, but we should have had more thoughtful, more methodical and science-based rationale and actions taken leading up to this ease.
Congressman, share with me your thoughts on this. Congress is essential business, meaning they should be at work, but they don't want to come back to work. Your thoughts?
Not all congressmen don't want to come back, Sean. I would be back in D.C. in a heartbeat. You know, if we're asking doctors and nurses to work, if we're asking those in grocery stores, those delivering our products, if we're asking them to work, Congress should be working too. Now, of course, I'm working in the district, but we should be in session. We should be moving legislation, and we should be the ones that are dealing with the phases that are coming out and the subsequent phases in legislation. You know, I know there's a lot of task force, but the best task force that we have in the United States is the United States Congress. We were all elected members of the House or senators, so we should be there working. Unfortunately, Nancy Pelosi and far-left Democrats would rather us stay at home. And I think if you look at it, that gives her much more power to negotiate, because when she doesn't have to work with members of her own party, when she doesn't have to work with rank-and-file Republicans, she, as the speaker, is empowered. So I think we should demand to go back into session. I'm ready to go back in session. And if we're asking individuals that are essential to work, we should be working in Washington, D.C.
All right, that message loud and clear. We know you want to get back to work. Republican Congressman Guy Reschenthaler from Pennsylvania. Congressman, thanks so much.